Hey guys, it's QuickyBaby and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I've got an important announcement about the AMX 50 Foch 155, and that is, in the next patch of the game, it will no longer be purchasable. That's right, if you want to get a tier 10 French autoloading tank destroyer with 155mm main armament, then you've probably got about a month or two to be able to research it and purchase it, otherwise you're never going to be able to get your hands on one. I guess Wargaming might bring it back in the future as some kind of special reward, or possibly they'll even sell it in the gift shop. I wouldn't put that past them. But to all intents and purposes, this is your last chance to be able to get your hands on the vehicle. Now, in the next patch, it's going to be replaced by another tier 10 French autoloading tank destroyer, the AMX 50 Foch B, which will have 120mm main armament, which I believe is going to have 400 alpha damage, and it's going to have a 6-round autoloading magazine. Now, I don't know what the delay is going to be between the shells. It could be 2 seconds, could be 3 seconds. It's kind of going to make or break that vehicle depending on how good the unload speed is on the tank. But one thing that is very interesting is that Wargaming are actually buffing the AMX 50 Foch 155 and the new version, the AMX 50 Foch B. They're improving the gun depression of the tank, the gun elevation of the tank, and they're also increasing, I believe, the frontal armor and, importantly, the side armor. One of the worst things about this vehicle is the 40mm of side armor, which gets overmatched by all 121mm caliber guns and larger. Well, obviously, if Wargaming buff it up to 50 or hopefully maybe 55mm, then that means that you're going to be able to be bouncing. Well, if they buff it up to 55, you'll be bouncing mostly all of the guns in the game, apart from on something like the FV215B183, right? Because of the 3 caliber rule and the overmatching. So that means that the AMX 50 Foch 155 is going to be better than ever next patch. And one thing that's also interesting is that if you research this tank and purchase it, it's going to be even better news for you. And that's because you are going to be given it in the garage as a reward tank. There are actually going to be 2 tier 10 French tank destroyers next patch, although only one of them will be researchable and purchasable, and the other will be left in the garage of all the players who had this vehicle unlocked and purchased as of the release day of patch 9.20. So that's something rather exciting indeed. There aren't very many reward vehicles in the game at tier 10, unless you are you play the Clan Wars. I guess the only opportunity you've had to get your hands on one will be picking up the Object 260 if you complete all of your personal missions. Now, one thing that's going to be brilliant as well about this AMX 50 Foch 155 is it's going to be a reward vehicle, and you're going to be able to use all of your French tank destroyer crews inside it. And I presume it's going to have 50% extra crew training like you would have on the reward tanks as well. So all really exciting stuff about next patch. And really, I'm just trying to hammer it home to you guys that if you are close, or maybe if you've got the tier 8, maybe if you've got the tier 9, or possibly you've just sold the Foch 155 when they nerfed the hell out of it, you might want to buy it back again, because it's going to be a fantastic opportunity to pretty much get the new vehicle with that 6-round 120mm, but also just receive a semi-premium or a reward tier 10 vehicle in your garage. And who knows how good it's going to be. If Wargaming do buff the depression, the elevation, and the side armor, it might be something that a lot of people could miss out on, and could return the Foch 155 not all the way to its former glory. And you should really check out a video on this channel before it was nerfed, I believe it's called, the Foch 155, where the thing was truly outrageously powerful. And it can still be a great tank. I mean, in these kind of situations where you have a Lerva just sitting out in front of you, I mean, oh, that poor guy, right? We dealt 646 to him and 386. That Patriot, I believe, just taking a little bit of the meat from the damage that we wanted to deal to the Lerva. This tank, it's definitely seen better days, but it's certainly not bad by any means, and the buffs to it should probably make it quite competitive again, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how things will work out. Also, just in other news with regards to French tank destroyers, that Wargaming are kind of buffing the tier 8 and the tier 9 French tank destroyers. Wow, I bounced the tortoise from the front and my own ally from behind there. They're changing it so the 1948, the tier 8 French tank destroyer, is going to have a 3-round 120mm autoloader. Wow, that should be absolutely monstrous, right? And the tier 9, the AMX 50 Foch, is going to have, I believe, a 4-round autoloader. So those French tank destroyers are going to be better than ever next patch. And so if you are planning on grinding your way towards the Foch 155, oh, bit of a horrible miss there against the cupola of the tortoise. Oh, this is going to be the lowest damage shell of all time in the Foch 155. 29 damage dealt there. Am I going to reload? This is the most awkward thing about this tank. Whether you want to be reloading or not, but we got a leopard. Hopefully we roll high here. Will we kill him? Oh no, just below average. And now we've got that really awkward 50-second reload in this tank, but 5 kills in here. But yeah, so what I'm trying to say is that if you're planning on grinding towards the Foch 155 and you keep the tier 8 and the tier 9, they could be really good tanks as well next patch. I'm not saying that they're terrible now, but they're certainly not the most powerful tier 8 and tier 9 tank destroyers in the world. But if you keep your hands on them, they might be enjoyable in patch 920. So thankfully, the Scorpion and the Object 704 dealt with the VK100-01P inside the base, and I don't have to worry too much about going back to defend there. Just the Leopard prototype and the 2 artillery to my right, but I'm focusing on what I would call is Christmas in World of Tanks, and that's when you have your autoloader, and probably the most dangerous autoloader in the game, I'd say, the Foch 155, fully loaded and above a slow, cumbersome tier 10 German tank destroyer. And oh, he's right there. Oh, and he's healthy as well. Some kind of damage vampire some kind of French damage vampire is going to swoop in from above and go, yeah, you're kind of in the wrong place, mate. Whoa, 6, 5, 8. Gonna reload another shell. Kablam. Another one right into the side of his tank. Am I going to bother to reload here and go after the artillery? Yes, I do. Okay, another 50 seconds and then we're going to have to deal with the T-92 and the M40-43. So what else did Wargaming say about when they're changing the Foch 155 into a reward vehicle? Well, all of your current statistics, all of your medals, your achievements, and your mark of excellence will be transferred to the reward version of this tank. So do keep that in mind. And if you've got any equipment on the tank, it's not going to go to waste. It's either going to be transferred to the vehicle or it's going to be demounted. But what's going to be happening to your crew? That's something that's a little bit more interesting. The crew gets retrained for the 50 Foch B, because the 50 Foch 155 will be a reward vehicle, and of course there's no point in having a crew on a reward tank because you can move them into the vehicle without penalty. So that'll be even better if you want to play 2 tier 10 French autoloading tank destroyers because you just love the playstyle and want to alternate between it. Oh no! Don't flee! Yes! Okay, good. Then that means that you're going to be able to train up your French crew in the Foch the AMX 50 Foch B, and also in the AMX 50 Foch 155. So lots of exciting things for French tank destroyer lovers next patch. So now we know that the M40-43 is hiding his way over here. I stopped to try and take a shot, but I'm quite surprised. It looks like there's a tiny little ridge that protected that artillery, and so boo-hoo-hoo, I don't get my Pascucci's medal and pick up the second kill on a self-propelled gun. So not a bad round here for the Foch 155, a high caliber medal, a top gun for our 6 kills, 5,400 damage, and because this vehicle is played so poorly, 1,095 base experience points is an ace tanker. And so there you have it, a shorter video I know, but I just wanted to really highlight how much of an opportunity this is for everyone who's maybe got to tier 7, 8 and 9 along the French tank destroyer tech tree, and I don't want any of you to have missed out on the opportunity to be getting yourself a reward vehicle. Either way, I think these buffs to the French tank destroyers do look promising, and it has been a while since these vehicles were truly competitive in the game. And furthermore, it kind of looks like Wargaming have learned something from when they pulled the last tier 10 German tank destroyer, the Waffenträger Alpha E100, from the game, that quite a few of the players were unhappy with the removal of that tank. And by giving everybody a tier 10 reward French tank destroyer for free, I think Wargaming might have done it better this time round. And so hopefully this video was useful to you. If it was, please consider giving it a like. I'd really appreciate it, and let me know in the comments down below what you think about the buffs to the French tank destroyer line. Do you think they were needed? And are you really excited to see what that reward vehicle will look like in your garage? And as always, thank you so much for watching. You've been epic, and hopefully I'll see you soon.